Hello, my lovely Marshall blenders. How are you? How are you? Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I hope everybody is doing as well as possible. You know what I was thinking about was this. Toilet paper. Why is toilet paper so darn important and why so controversial? Right? I wonder is what I was asking myself. Let me fix this here a little bit. Let's see what to do there. Okay, very good. I think that's a little better. So, why the controversy? Why is it that when there is a situation like the one we're in right now, people run for the toilet paper? So I was thinking, guys, let's talk about a little bit about the history of toilet paper. I take this information from Wikipedia. So, toilet paper, this is me, what I wrote. Toilet paper, since its elaboration, has been essential and controversial. People have argued about the correct way to place the toilet roll. And you guys know, people make jokes about it, They're like, should it be the flap facing you or the flap facing away from you? Big issue. Like, literally, for decades, it's been a big issue. Go on Google and you'll find jokes about it. Now, this information I got from the wiki. Okay, it says toilet paper, sometimes called toilet roll or toilet tissue in Britain, is a tissue paper product primarily used to clean the anus and surrounding area of fecal material after defecation, and to clean the perineal area of urine after urination or other bodily fluids release. It also acts as a layer of protection from the hands during these processes. Essentially, what it's saying is that it cleans the hole, and it cleans any hole where waste comes out of, be it from the front or from the back, all right? But I think that the reason why it's also so important to us is because it serves as a barrier, as a protection for millennia. Don't forget, since the beginning of human beings, Adam and Eve, till, as I was able to find out, in China, in the early years 500 our common era, that Chinese were the first ones to use paper to clean themselves. So for thousands of years, people used different things like wool, lace, hemp, rags, wood shavings, leaves, grass, hay, stones, water, snow, which is understandable, fruit skins, seashells, sponge on a stick, which was shared. They would put the sponge on a stick in vinegar, and then somebody else would come and use it. Disease much? So, for human beings, even though the majority of us have grown during a time where toilet paper is readily available and it's become such a part of our life that we here in the United States can't fathom this fact. Joseph Gayetti, he's credited with being the inventor of the modern commercially available toilet paper in the United States. He introduced it in 1857, but it became available to the public in the 1920s. Used this slogan as his advertisement. The greatest necessity of the age. Gayetti's medicated paper for the water closet. That's what they used to call the bathroom, water closet. So a lot of us can't fathom having to use something else to wipe ourselves with. And defecating and urinating is a basic function of the human body. It is a physiological need. So even though we've never experienced it, we've heard stories of people who had to use leaves and accidentally used poison ivy to wipe themselves. And we live in such a modern civilization society that nobody wants to go back to having to wipe their anus or their perineal area with wool or wood shavings or leaf or grass or a sponge on a stick. You know, that it's unfathomable. So that creates this immediate anxiety in a lot of human beings to say, we better get as much toilet paper as we can get, because I'm not fitting to be cleaning myself with my hand, and no. So I think that's what that whole people running to the stores and buying all the toilet paper comes from. It's just, even though we never experienced it, we've heard of it. And also, that kind of a understanding is in our DNA. Our ancestors were doing that, and we know we don't want to do that. So I think that's why people flock to the stores and they purchase as much of the toilet papers, and that's why some people are willing to fight for this thing that serves as a protection from body waste. Protects our hands from it. So there's a lot in the psyche, the psychology, that goes into why people rush for the toilet paper. Now, let me tell you this. A lot of people flock for the toilet paper, but they don't flock for the wipes, the body wipes, the baby wipes, even the hand cleaning wipes. They don't flock to that. So you'll see that the toilet paper rolls are gone, but those wipes are still there. So it's also important to not let yourself become so overwhelmed with a situation that you are not able to think. Keep your mind. Keep your mind. So instead of becoming so anxious about what's going on, why don't you take a breath, relax, and then think outside the box. And thinking outside the box is that there are so many other things that people are not flocking to because they're blind from anxiety that can be used to clean yourself, at minimum, look, if you go back to having to use a rag, a wool rag or whatever, big deal, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think so. That's what I think is the cause of that whole anxiety. So this is a book that I'm also reading. It's called The Secret of Family Happiness. It's a book that I think a lot of people would benefit from. I personally, I'm not married. I don't have children, but I do have a lot of friends that are married and have children. And can I be honest with you? This book helps me. This is probably going to be like my third or fourth time reading it. This book helps me so much in the sense that there are things in my life growing up that I didn't have. And it helps me understand why I didn't have it. And it gives me peace and solace in knowing that not having it doesn't guarantee me to be a failure, and it doesn't damn me. It doesn't curse me to be a man that is not well-rounded. It doesn't create a definite situation in my mind and in my heart that even though I grew up in a house that was essentially a house of divorce, and then my mother remarried, and my stepfather was a great stepdad in the beginning, but he became an alcoholic with no abuse, thank God, no physical abuse, but all the issues that come along with someone that has those issues. And it doesn't necessarily say that I would become the kind of human being that could not provide stability to myself and to others. And so that book definitely helped me a lot. Another book that helped me a lot is a book called Young People Ask, Practical Answers. That touches on so many different topics. And even though I'm an adult, it's one of the books that I like to go back to because it does touch on things that, as adults, we think as adults we're supposed to have everything and figure everything out. But guess what? If you never grew out of something, or if you never understood how to do something as basic as control your temper, or as fundamental as communicate with others, well, that book helps with that. It's called Young People Ask. And that these are, you don't have to have the hard copy. You can go to jw.org and download it, or you could even go to Watchtower Library online and go to the menu, and it goes to books, and you'll be able to read it there. It's all free. So now that a lot of us are doing this, why not take this time to improve ourselves and grow and mature and become better people, better neighbors, better sons, better daughters, better spouses, and kind of take away from the selfish side of ourselves and become kinder people, because that's essentially what's going to be necessary. Okay, so goodbye, my lovely Marshall Blanders. I see you soon. See ya.